Oh, hey there. Didn't notice you. I was just watching a movie on DVD. You know, these days when you want to watch a movie, you normally don't pop in a DVD or a VHS. Usually you just go online and you find something on Netflix. Gone are the independent rental stores and the blockbusters. These days you can find any film in any genre at any time of day at the click of a mouse. So when I was looking for a new movie to review, instead of digging through my old junk DVDs and VHS tapes, I went online. And through the tangled, muddy overgrowth of digital jungle, I discovered this little gem right here, Undercover Grandpa. The name alone was enough to get me excited. See, I'm a sucker for the "that sounds so stupid that I need to see it" effect. You know, like the recently unveiled Warner Brothers movie Detective Pikachu, with a Ryan Reynolds voiced Pikachu. This is otherwise known as a pretty stupid idea. I shouldn't want to see it, I shouldn't, but I just feel so compelled to see exactly how they intend to pass off such a ridiculous idea. With Undercover Grandpa, it was the same thing, so I decided to give it a watch, but I missed the warning signs. The first alarm should have been when I found out that this movie was a Canadian production. Up here, Canadian films are everywhere on streaming services. Any of you Americans out there wouldn't know, because you guys have it pretty good down there. Well, I mean, you have better Netflix than us. Honestly, for every good Canadian film you'll find, there'll be about 3 bad ones. So the odds weren't exactly in my favor for Undercover Grandpa to be any good. The second warning sign should have been the rating, PG-13. Yeah, Undercover Grandpa is rated PG-13. Just so we're on the same page here, these are some scenes from other PG-13 movies. So this movie isn't actually for kids, not entirely anyway. And this is an important detail too, because I didn't see the rating when I turned it on, because, you know, it was fair to assume that Undercover Grandpa wasn't meant for adults. Oh, but I should have known. It's like the Backyardigans movie. That was rated R for depicting in graphic detail Pablo the Penguin's murder of Tyrone the Orange Moose. But before we look at Undercover Grandpa, I gotta get this out of the way. The last movie I reviewed, Space Buddies, I actually recommend, because it's definitely somewhere on the so bad it's good spectrum. I'd probably put it somewhere here, in between The Room at the very top and all these other ones at the bottom that are just plain bad. Where does Undercover Grandpa fall? Well, after watching, I can say with utmost certainty that it belongs down here. Yeah, it's a shame, because I had high hopes for this movie, but it let me down. Okay, first things first though, I'll give the movie a little credit. The first 20 minutes or so is a real trip. But it's not a trip like a Caribbean cruise, it's more like a fever dream or the boat ride from Willy Wonka.
And they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing.
It's a pretty basic premises. Our main character is this kid with the bowl cut. I'm sure he has a name, but I'm just gonna call him Zach or Justin because that's who he is to me. This young man has what is known as a stalker problem, in that he's a little obsessed with this young little lady right here. Oh wait, sorry, did I say little lady? No, she's actually bigger than him. Anyways, he likes to draw pictures of her, and of course, she actually likes it.
Wow, this is really good.
You think so?
Yeah, can I keep this?
Yep. Now, this is the second time I've seen this drawing the pretty lady thing recently. The other time being in Drake and Josh. In both of these instances, the poor rejected boy fills up an entire notebook with pictures they drew of the girl. Like, they've drawn the lady more than 10 times. More than what should be considered acceptable, at least. And I don't claim to understand what women would consider to be romantic, but to me, this would be something frightening and not charming. I'm going to put it like this. If he took a picture of her, I'm sure it wouldn't go down well. But since he drew her, they think it's, I don't know, cute? I wouldn't say so. I'm sure if I drew one of these pretty girls in my stupid fat man style, she wouldn't be much of a fan. But anyways, that's our hero, a loser with a crush. So somehow Beebs here lands a date with the girl.
Did she reject you? She said yes, man.
But as he's getting ready for the big date, he finds out that tonight he also has
dinner with Grandpa.
Now, as a person who lives with his grandmother, that concept is actually pretty terrifying, so I think he's more than justified when it ticks him off.
No. Not tonight.
Why not tonight?
Because I have a date tonight, Mom.
You can hang out with Wendell another time.
It's not with Wendell, it's with a girl.
Especially when he lets us know that Grandpa is more than a little senile, this is starting to sound scary. So I had high hopes for the reveal of Grandpa. See, at this point I was hoping for Grandpa to be really zany and crazy and stuff, right? Because they already established him as being crazy, and so far the kid is the really serious one, so I thought Grandpa would be a bit of a comedic foil or something. That would help liven this movie up, at least. But does Grandpa do anything fun? No, he doesn't. And what's more is he never even seems like the family is justified for treating him like a freak. He doesn't, say, assault the mailman or do anything that would make people say, geez, my grandfather's nuts. And that's one of the biggest problems in this movie. Grandpa, as in Undercover Grandpa, is just way too normal. But, okay, I'll bite. So Grandpa thinks somebody is watching him. It must be something stupid, right? Look at Grandpa, he thinks that dog is a bomb. He's so dumb. So what? What is parked on the street that Grandpa finds so out of the ordinary?
Are the Grossbergs having a circumcision?
Whoa. What? Can you run that by me one more time?
Are the Grossbergs having a circumcision?
Are the Grossbergs having a circumcision? That's really what you want to say here, movie? What you have done here is what I can only describe as a miracle. In one fell swoop, you have made a joke that references the dick, insults all the Jewish viewers, and establishes this universe as one in which a service known as a rabbi to go, which openly advertises the service of circumcision on the side of a big black van, is a perfectly acceptable thing to see. Okay, think of this. Imagine you're sitting with an old person, you know, your dad or grandma or whoever. Now imagine that they think that they're being watched because across the street a van is parked that says portable cremations. Would you say, he's just old, there's nothing unusual about that? Of course you wouldn't. But that's what they do in the movie. I'm sorry, I'm just finding it hard to get over this. Rabbi to go. And I thought I've seen everything. Okay, what comes next? I'm not sure if there's anything else this movie can do to top that. Whoa! James Caan? James Caan? No way, man. There's no way that Undercover Grandpa is James Caan. Oh my god, it is! James, what have they done to you? You know, James Caan, otherwise known as Sonny Corleone from The Godfather? How? How could they do this? I mean, James Caan isn't known for the best filmography, but he's still James Caan. He's nothing to scoff at. Oh, the poor guy's resume, man. Sonny Corleone in The Godfather. Paul Sheldon in Misery. Grandpa in Undercover Grandpa. Wait a minute. Misery? Oh, well, I think I just figured out how they managed to keep him on set long enough to film this movie.
Any for God's,
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake.
It's for the best.
Any, please.
Wow, okay. Are you done yet, movie? Because I think I need a bit of a sit down after that. There's no way, man. There's nothing else this movie can do to top all that. There's James Caan. Undercover Grandpa. So what are they having for dinner then at 6:04 p.m.? Did I mention that yet? Yeah, they do these timestamps. It's really annoying. KFC, eh? Yep, poor old guy probably can't even digest prunes and they're feeding him fried chicken. Apparently, Grandpa invented Kentucky Fried Chicken. Nope, don't need to say anything about that, just need to show this.
It's time to stop!
All right, listen. You have some protection?
Dad!
What the heck? What's the matter? What are you ashamed? What are you, something to be ashamed about that?
Grandpa's talking about condoms now. Might as well go up and talk to my grandmother. We'll sit down and watch the Fireplace Channel. Unfortunately, that's about the limit of enjoyment I got from this film. Basically, 2 big slaps in the face, one after another, and then it just starts sucking blood from you for the rest of the movie. So, next up, Troy Bolton has to show up late to his date because he has to drive Grandpa home. This is where we get to the initial incident of the film. Basically, his date decided to take a shortcut through a demilitarized ghetto to get to the party they were going to. She calls Yort and Grandpa for a ride, but when they get to her, they find her dead, mutilated body in a dumpster. Just kidding. She's been kidnapped, go figure. This is where Grandpa calls on all his Special Forces training and starts tracking her down, without calling the police or even her parents. Why? This is why. No reason! Eventually, they show up at an underground arms dealer.
Where are we and what are we doing here?
It's an underground arms dealer.
Again? Why? Well, because Grandpa picked up a bullet casing from the road off screen, and he's trying to find the source. Oh, and does the kid wait in the car? Nah, he comes right along. Why don't you bring in that field trip of 7-year-olds while you're at it? Okay, now this is getting real. I bet Grandpa's got a real carefully crafted plan. Yeah, he's gonna go in there, pull the wool over everybody's eyes, and walk out with the information he needs.
In about 10 seconds, I'm gonna take down this big gorilla of yours, and put the other goon away, and then put this one in a coma.
Or he's just gonna start making threats. Oh, now he's punching everybody. Yeah, okay. Well, he's not exactly undercover then, is he? And now in comes the cops, and there's the rabbi! And here's Grandpa just standing here with his huge cannon, he's like, nothing to see here. So Grandpa and Child are now in a place known as Aspic Headquarters. Yeah, you know, Aspic. Stands for Awful Spankings for Poor Innocent Children, or something like that. Anyways. Now, this old woman starts playing psychological warfare with the kid. Tells him that Grandpa wasn't really in the Special Forces, yada yada.
He found 2 shell casings at the place she was supposed to be.
Did you happen to see him pick up those shell casings?
Well, no.
Okay. So we didn't see Grandpa pick up the shell casing because neither did the kid. So the movie's covering its tracks, but I'm still on to you, movie. She then goes to see Grandpa in the torture room from The Dark Knight.
You wanted me. Here I am.
There's then this really annoying swipe cut with one of the characters. We then see the girl who's been locked behind a door, which, of course, she breaks open in 2 seconds. She sneaks around for a bit. Is that guard using a selfie stick? Right. Anyway, so she calls 911, then gets caught again. Cut back to Grandpa, yada yada yada. Am I watching Undercover Grandpa or Little House on the Prairie? Ooh, looks like Aspic has the authority to cancel 911 calls, so I guess they're the bad guys now. Okay, so keep in mind that in action movies there has to be a balance of action with talking. So usually the action comes right after long scenes of dialogue. So, what's our reward for all this boring talking in a boring old concrete building? The lamest escape scene of all time. They literally just take an elevator. Now I'm going to pause right here for a second. Have you noticed something unusual? Something strange about Grandpa? He hasn't exactly gone undercover yet, has he? And you know what? This really ticks me off. I signed up for an Undercover Grandpa, and I get nothing. So you know what? If Grandpa's not gonna go undercover, then I am. I mean, they say that he's undercover in that he's acting like a typical grandpa when in fact he's not. But come on! That isn't how movies work. When a character goes undercover, he goes all out. He gets the costumes out. He starts using a different accent. He has to act like a completely different person. What he doesn't do is just pretend like he's an average guy when, secretly, he's actually slightly not average. And especially in a movie that has so far been so bland, so colorless, so dry, they still don't try anything to make Undercover Grandpa at least seem undercover. I mean, he just escaped from a government institution. That's perfect for him to start trying to hide or anything. But what do he get? Gray coat, gray hat. This is when things get really painful to watch. They do stuff, sure, but it's so painfully mundane. This is a play-by-play of almost 20 minutes of the film. Our heroes have to hack into 911 to track down the girl, so they grab the kid's nerdy friend to do it for them. Just because you play League of Legends doesn't mean that you can therefore hack into the emergency system. Fine, whatever. So they take the nerdy kid to see the nerdy old man, so they can use the advanced computer systems from his 1950s missile silo. They track down the girl, but in order to take down the enemies, they go recruit the rest of Grandpa's old Special Forces unit, which they call the Scum. Yeah, this movie is scum. The Scum include the following upstanding members: the old nerd, the old black guy, the old priest. Oh, this movie's really flying through the checklist, isn't it? And the old Italian. They gather to come up with an attack plan, but then they're like, oh no, we're too old to fight. Then the boy's like,
Just do it!
and they're like, okay. And they set out to rescue the damsel in distress. So here's their master plan. the old guys are gonna bust into the hideout and rescue the girl. But what's the twist?
I'm too old for this.
Yep, they're too old. The guy in the camo throws out his back. The guy underwater is accidentally breathing laughing gas, which would actually make him dead, not happy. And the rest of them get caught. Now we have the big confrontation between Grandpa and the bad guy. I haven't mentioned the bad guy till now, but he's been all over this movie. So what makes the bad guy so unique? Well, he's Russian. Yeah, according to this movie, that's enough to make him evil. What's with all the Russians in the movies I watch? He's actually the only guy who's aware that he's in a film called Undercover Grandpa, so again, the Russian is the only fun guy to watch.
The man in the green bush. Hello.
Wait, what? Major Lou Crawford?
So, how does the confrontation go? Well, the kid chucks a grenade-shaped lighter, and then Grandpa and his shuffleboard friends just start killing people. This is the big action scene in the movie, and the only thing that makes it in any way unique is the fact that the good guys are all old plus one kid. I mean, I wouldn't expect John Wick level of action, but this is just lame. Oh look, I'm pointing a gun. Oh look, the kids are fighting the bad guys. Did this movie just use the Tweety sound? Is this a cartoon? 1 minute it's talking about international terrorists getting fought. What the hell is this? Okay, so this guy is Zeus now? That just came out of nowhere. Last thing I saw, people were just shooting each other, and then you throw this lightning crap in my face. I think I need this to stop, man. It's just too much. Okay, so the bad guy inevitably has to be defeated, right? How does that go? Okay, the kid throws a couple mines, and it blows his legs off, I guess. Look, I know there's smoke bombs, but it would still explode. Okay, so things get a little smoky, then Grandpa straight up just murders him.
Well, that probably hurt.
And that's this movie's idea of a big dramatic villain death scene. Kid gets a kiss, the old guys leer like creeps, the old woman drops by, things are coming to a close. Thank God. But what's this? Oh no! It looks like Grandpa's got a bit of heartburn. Wait, he's dead? No, come on, man. Grandpa survives getting shot at, but then he dies a hero's death with a bit of a heart attack? No way, man. I'm a sucker, but I'm not an idiot. You did not just kill off James Caan, Undercover Grandpa, with a heart attack. Nice glasses, kid. He's doing his Ozzy Osbourne impression.
Your grandfather wouldn't leave because of you.
Me?
My God, they're trying to make me cry. I'm not falling for it, movie. I should be crying because they cast James Caan as Undercover Grandpa, but not because they killed his character. So, that's the end, right? Grandpa's dead. Nope. They need to throw in one more underage sex joke.
And my parents aren't.
Oh, well, maybe we could.
One more new hairdo, and what do you know it? Grandpa's not dead after all. And he's banging the old lady. Never would have seen that coming. And that's it. Game over. That was Undercover Grandpa. Yep, Undercover Grandpa kinda sucks. Also, its credits go the wrong direction. I really wanted to enjoy this movie, you know? I never sit down and say, man, I hope this movie really sucks so I can waste an hour and a half of my life. But that's what happens. It's just bland. The child is boring, Grandpa is boring, the story is boring, the sets are boring, the music really sucks. For some reason, it uses all these random pop songs when they should be using some variation on a James Bond or Mission Impossible theme. Or anything. Undercover Grandpa should have just stayed undercover and out of my life. But that's the risk you take when you're a victim of the "that sounds so stupid that I have to watch it" effect. Sometimes it sounds stupid, and it's enjoyably stupid. And sometimes it sounds stupid,
Undercover Grandpa,
and it's bland and lame. And I'm giving this movie such a hard time because I honestly think that it's perfectly okay to make a stupid movie out of a stupid idea. Obviously, suckers like me are gonna fall for it, so they should just go all out and have a little fun. But what Undercover Grandpa does is they take a stupid idea, a stupid premises, a grandpa who's undercover, and they try to make something dramatic and comedic. And that's just not how you do it.
And you know what? There's a moral to this story. That moral is, when you're browsing for something to watch on the internet, just pick something that looks good. You don't have to pick something just because it might be enjoyably bad. Just pick something that looks good and you won't have the Undercover Grandpa problem. I gotta get out of this mess.
So yeah, next time you're looking for a movie to watch, just take a second before you turn something on and ask yourself, do I really want to watch Undercover Grandpa? And finally, I want to say thanks.
Thanks.
For watching my video. Have a good day, folks.